On social media, wealth is loud. It screams in designer logos, roars with supercar engines, and sparkles in champagne glasses on yachts. But what if I told you that isn't the full picture of wealth? What if I told you that real, sustainable wealth is often completely silent? It lives right in your neighborhood, in the form of a neighbor who drives a 5-year-old Honda. It sits in the corner of a coffee shop, reading a book instead of scrolling through a phone. It isn't on Instagram. It doesn't need validation, because it's busy building something far more important: freedom. In our culture of consumerism and the pressure of keeping up with the Joneses, we've been programmed to equate spending with success. But truly successful and financially free people understand the opposite to be true. They don't play that game. They play a different, longer game. Today, we're pulling back the curtain to look into the world of stealth wealth. We're going to uncover the 5 foundational habits, the disciplined actions that happen behind the scenes that create true financial independence. And the first, most important habit is a rule that is never broken. Habit number 1, pay yourself first, automatically. This isn't new advice, but the difference between those who talk about it and those who are truly wealthy lies in one word: automation. The average person waits until the end of the month, sees what's left, and then saves. The silently successful do the exact opposite. They decide their future first. The moment their paycheck hits their account, a pre-built system silently gets to work. First, a portion is automatically funneled into their 401k retirement account, enough to get the full company match. This is free money, and they never leave it on the table. Next, another amount is automatically transferred to their Roth IRA or traditional IRA. And just as importantly, another piece automatically flows into a brokerage account, where it's used to buy low-cost index funds, like an S&P 500 fund, like VOO, or a total stock market fund like VTI. You see, the entire process happens without a single daily decision. It doesn't depend on mood, on willpower, or on feeling tired. It's silent because it's a default part of their personal financial system, just like an electric bill or a Netflix subscription. They treat their savings and investments like a mandatory tax on their own income, a freedom tax, and they happily pay it before anything else. They don't just pay themselves first, they build a machine that does it for them. The power isn't in trying to save every penny, but in designing a system where becoming wealthy is inevitable. Once this machine is running, they turn their focus to the second silent habit, one that defines the gap between looking rich and being truly wealthy. Habit number 2, actively live well below your means. This is a simple concept that is deeply misunderstood. Living below your means doesn't mean living a life of misery. It means intentionally creating the widest possible margin between what you earn and what you spend. While society celebrates a promotion by buying a new car or moving to a bigger apartment, a phenomenon known as lifestyle inflation, the silently successful celebrate by increasing their savings and investment rate. They understand that every dollar not spent today, when invested, becomes a tiny soldier working for them 24/7. They look at a $70,000 luxury car and don't just see a car. They see how that $70,000 could become $270,000 in 15 years in an S&P 500 fund. Their small short-term sacrifice is a deliberate trade for absolute, long-term freedom. They don't make hundreds of tiny decisions to cut back. Instead, they focus on the big 3: housing, transportation, and food. By keeping these 3 costs reasonable, they automatically free up a huge portion of their income without ever worrying about cutting back on lattes. It's silent, because no one knows that their mortgage is only 15% of their income. while others are struggling with 35%. No one knows their car has been paid off for years. They don't need others to know. That financial margin is their reward. It is their peace of mind. Habit number 3. Make learning a non-negotiable habit. In a rapidly changing world, the greatest asset isn't money, it's knowledge. The truly successful understand that the best investment they can ever make is in their own mind. This habit is also practiced silently. It's not about flashing an expensive MBA on the wall. It's about daily actions. It's listening to business and economics podcasts during the commute. It's dedicating an hour each evening to reading books, not just for entertainment, but biographies of great figures, books on psychology, history, on how the world works. Warren Buffett famously spends up to 80% of his day reading. He calls it compounding knowledge, just like compound interest. They don't just consume information, they process it. They ask questions. They connect ideas from different fields. They aren't learning to pass a test. They are learning to become better decision-making machines. This wealth of knowledge translates into financial wealth. It helps them spot opportunities others miss. It helps them avoid costly mistakes. It gives them the confidence to invest when others are panicking, and the wisdom to be patient when the market is overly euphoric. While others spend their evenings scrolling aimlessly through social media, they are silently building an unfair advantage for their future. One page, one podcast at a time. Habit number 4. Track your net worth, not your income. Society is obsessed with income. He makes 6 figures. She's a high-earning lawyer. But income is only part of the story. It's like looking only at a company's revenue while ignoring its massive debts and expenses. The silently successful focus on a different, more private, and far more important number: net worth. Net worth, calculated as total assets minus total liabilities, is the true scoreboard in the financial game. Your assets are things like the money in your 401k and IRA accounts, your home equity and other investments. Your liabilities are things like your mortgage, student loans, and credit card debt. Every month or every quarter, they silently update their spreadsheet or use tools like Empower Personal Dashboard or Mint to track this number. This provides absolute clarity. It tells them if they are truly moving forward. A doctor earning $500,000 a year with $400,000 in student debt and an expensive lifestyle might have a negative net worth. Meanwhile, a teacher earning $70,000, but who is debt-free and has been investing consistently for 15 years, could have a net worth of $500,000. Who is truly wealthier? Tracking your net worth completely changes your behavior. You start making decisions that will make that number go up. You focus on paying down high-interest debt and boosting your investments instead of just thinking about how to get a bigger paycheck. It's silent. Because this is your number, it's not for showing off. It's the compass for all your financial decisions. Habit number 5. Intentionally build a quality inner circle. There's a famous saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. The silently successful internalize this philosophy. They understand that their environment and relationships can be the wind in their sails or the anchor holding them down. Building this circle is also a silent art. It isn't about attending flashy networking events and collecting business cards. It's about finding and cultivating deep relationships based on respect, trust, and mutual growth. They seek out mentors who are a few steps ahead of them. They join small mastermind groups where members can share challenges and support each other honestly. They actively seek out friends who share their mindset on finances and personal discipline. People with whom conversations revolve around ideas and opportunities, not other people or complaints. They give value before they expect to receive it. They connect people. They share knowledge. They build a bank of goodwill and reputation that pays far greater dividends than any stock market investment in the long run. This is silent because it happens in coffee meetings, in phone calls, in the sharing of a helpful article. It's not loud, but it shapes who you are, the opportunities you receive, and the decisions you make. So, what is the common thread that connects all 5 of these habits? From automating investments, living below your means, continuous learning, tracking net worth, to building quality relationships? It's this. They are playing the long game. All of these habits are expressions of patience and vision. They are the conscious choice to prioritize your future self over the instant gratification of your present self. True wealth is not an event. It's not a lottery win or a single successful deal. It is the inevitable result of thousands of small, silent, disciplined decisions made day after day. It's not about having more money. It's about having more options. The option to retire early. The option to pursue work you're passionate about without worrying about the pay. The option to spend time with your family. The option to make a positive impact on the world. That is silent wealth, and it is completely within your reach. I'd love to hear from you. Which of these silent habits resonates with you the most? Or what's one you're already practicing in your own life? Share it in the comments below. And if this conversation was valuable to you, consider subscribing to explore more strategies for building a life of freedom and meaning, because ultimately, that's how your inner compass works. Thank you for listening.